Hi, everybody. Thanks for joining me today in the Locher Room. I'm Alan Locher. Today, we have the husband and wife producing duo and stars of the new holiday movie, The Farmer and The Belle, Saving Santaland, Jenn Gotzon and her husband, Jim E. Chandler. This award-winning inspirational family comedy stars Jen and Jim and co-stars Corbin Bernsen, John Schneider, Robert Amaya, Natasha Bure, Sandra Lafferty, Henry Cho, Roxzane, Mims, Delilah, and singing sensation Beckah Shae, with young talents Livi Birch, Benji Russell, and introducing Adele Chandler. The film was directed by the award-winning Wes Llewellyn. The Farmer and the Belle, Saving Santaland, is currently in theaters in select cities and streaming on most platforms. Please welcome to the Locher Room, Jim Chandler and Jenn Gotzon. My apologies. I am a little under the weather and it's showing.
I think everybody is under the weather. The weather is on top of everybody.
You are not, Jim, you are not kidding. Yes, my two nephews, one was hit with COVID, one has the flu.
We both had wonderful coughs, so like during the thing, you'll hear us like,
and we had COVID. We had COVID before that, so we're getting there. We just need something else. Give us the flu, and then we'll have the winter 2021 trifecta.
Wow, I just had a test this morning, so I'm praying it's negative. But
we had our test yesterday, another one, my son and me, and he's 1 year old, and he did so good with the PCR test. The doctor shoved it up my nose, and I was like, yeah, and I was like, my child's gonna freak out, and he was like.
Was that because you were seeing family? You wanted to make sure.
Well, we have this crazy cough that's stuck around for a week. And I just wanted to go down there to see if there's like any medicine to be able to help our baby and me. And she goes, I need to test you for COVID. And I'm like, but we just had it a couple of weeks ago.
It was a precaution because our symptoms are not the same as the COVID symptoms, but she wanted to do it anyway. So it's just something that doctors do.
Alan, I wanted to compliment you on the introduction that you gave our cast. I was like, my heart was thumping. I'm like, I want everyone to hear how wonderful it was that you honored each one of them. They are so special, and they did such a great job. And all of our extras did an amazing job too. It's a special movie with a special group of people. Fun to hang out with around the Christmas tree.
Congratulations on the film. I love backstage. We were talking. We both lived in the same town in New Jersey, which is fun. Love that. And you're visiting family for the holidays. What's better than that, right?
Yeah, it's good to be able to get back out and be with family. I know that we were able to still kind of do it last year because everybody was, we're traveling so much further away from where things were.
I have a Polish family, and so in the Polish tradition, you gather together as a big, large group. And last year we weren't able to do it. It was called a Wigilia. And it was the last year with my grandmother. And then she passed away a couple days after we would have our Wigilia. And so this past Saturday, it was so nice to be back together with all of our aunts and cousins. And, it just touched my heart being like, wow, this is something that I miss. And we just so easily take our family and friends for granted.
We do.
So we have to hug on to them and say,
repeat what you just said. It's called a what? A Wigilia?
Wigilia, yeah.
Wigilia. And what does that represent?
It represents a Christmas tradition, family in Polish.
Okay, very cool.
At least I think that's what the I know Stola is
live 100 years.
You live 100 years.
Or happy birthday. Yeah.
And Yachkamash means how are you? And dungarees mean jeans or pants. I would always say, wash your dungarees. And I was like, okay, enough playing in the dirt.
Well, before we dive into the movie, I want to talk about the two of you. You met working on a project back in 2014. Do I have that right?
Yes, on Tybee Island, just outside Savannah, down on the eastern coast of Georgia.
Georgia.
What was the project?
It was a small independent film that was inspired to be like a John Grisham novel with a little Alfred Hitchcockian. But it ended up being a beautiful little story called Sinking Sand, where I played the good girl And you played.
And I tried to blackmail her and her husband to get money out of them. So I tried to romantically involve myself with her by pretending to have gone to a high school with her. And then I tried to use that against her and our little adventures on the beach. And she takes matters into her own hands.
Dun, 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 dun.
And then she has to watch as her husband prosecutes another woman for her crime.
He's so good at log lines. Ask him every log line and every actor, and he kills it.
No, that's not true at all. But
You do a great
I don't know
job.
log lines at all. I just know our log line because we were in the movie.
Was it love at first sight?
Well,
Kind of. It was friendship at first sight, we try to say, because we courted for a little while after that. I just said courted.
he
And
literally
You did. You went old school.
he warmed my heart with pen pal letters, Alan. He literally physically wrote out pen pal letters to me to warm my heart and allow our friendship to be focused on a kinship of love within our hearts to one another. It was very special.
That is really old school, Jim. I'm impressed.
No, we also lived in different states, so that made it that made it a necessity for me. I thought it would be interesting and fun and kind of cool to send cards and letters back and forth.
And as
Well,
a progress,
Thank you for sharing that, because I love that you might be giving some people listening some ideas to go old school.
Yeah, there we go.
It was so
You know?
beautiful. And a friend of ours really encouraged us because I was coming out of a really difficult divorce where my heart was just in a lot of pain and turmoil. And his friend said, listen, you need to walk alongside her heart and become a friend. And then focus on, once that friendship is there, focus on, if you feel like this is a long-term, focus on that commitment and then know the passion is all going to come together. And, with love and with prayer, it just was right. And it was how many years later after we started dating that we got married? 3?
No, we got married in 2017. So yeah, I guess so. 3 years. Yeah.
3 years. Yeah.
Yeah.
And we made a movie. Oh, and filmed our
Well,
wedding in the movie.
we started the movie before we were married. We shot the first scenes in this around actually to this day.
Oh my gosh! Literally today.
In 2016, we started principal photography on the movie.
And that's where we shot, Alan, like literally today.
Yeah, at the West.
At 67th and Columbus, across from ABC.
There's a Christmas tree
farm.
Where they sell them right there on the side of the street.
Right on front. Yeah,
and that's where we shot. That's one of the first. That was first day one.
And a mutual friend of ours, Alan, Patricia. I always say her last name wrong.
Marchieri.
Patricia Marchieri was one of our lead actors at the time, and then our script got rewritten. But oh my gosh, if you ever get the DVD, and if anyone watches DVDs, The Farmer and the Belle Saving Santaland or alternate ending with Patricia, oh my gosh, it'll warm your soul. It's so good.
Well, take me back to that time, and you two are producers on the film. You two star in the film. Tell me the genesis for The Farmer and the Belle.
Yeah, so we actually got going pretty quick. Jenn had the idea in October of 2016, and we were rolling cameras in December because you know what? We didn't know what we were doing. We didn't know that you needed time to develop something. So we were like, let's get this thing on the page. And we started coming up with scenarios and scene ideas, and we wanted to focus on some Hebrew words of love, Raya, Ahava, and Dod. So that was a part of it. That eventually, that's hard for people to follow if you're trying to make a movie, is that have this educational thing about the words, Hebrew words of love. But can you hold on? What made you want those Hebrew words in there? Well, that's what she just described them, but she just said them in English instead of saying Raya is friendship, Ahava is the commitment, and then Dod is passion, fire. It's the sex. That's the passion, just for lack of a better term. Well, that's actually a great term. And then so we wanted that that was originally a part of it. So we shot we knew we were going to shoot in Georgia, so we started to shoot some scenes that we wanted to get done in New York City, like the horse in the pink onesie, which you see in the opening. And then
that's wearing heels, by the way, matching heels.
Yeah, a pink onesie with white stars and matching heels to her co-star Val Winters. And then we always wanted it to be about her quest to rediscover her inner beauty and to understand where her value comes from. So go ahead.
And so the storyline of The Farmer and the Belle, I was modeling in China as a 5'4" short girl. Not definitely, you shouldn't be having modeling careers, but that was a campaign that it was a blessing. And I was dating him, and his family lived on this 100-acre farm. And I've never been around pigs in my life before, or donkeys, or except at a carnival.
Except for me.
Oh,
Sorry.
and cows and chickens. And so the idea started to brew, because Belle is another word for beauty. And I knew I really wanted to share my story of how I overcame the pains of feeling ugly and wanting to be loved, and not feeling worthy and wanting to be loved, and how I found that freedom. And I wanted to do that. And then after researching that women love Christmas movies, so let's make a Christmas movie. And I always love Christmas movies that are hilarious, like Home Alone, Chevy Chase's Christmas Vacation. So I really desire that like slapstick broad comedy. And so that was our first rendition of the movie, The Farmer and the Belle. And then we had meetings with major broadcast networks. And one of the largest Christmas broadcast network, which I'm sure everybody knows, that executive said, Saving Santaland is going to be a really good title. So then we retooled our entire broad comedy to be rom-com. And so the horse and pink onesie scene needed to get re-edited, because we shot it as a broad comedy. It had to be re-edited to fit into that rom-com feel. And so if you watch the trajectory of the movie, you'll go, oh, that scene was a little bit outrageous, a little bit. And that's the reason why, because we filmed that scene a year ago. And by no means, Ellen, by no means were we going to cut that scene. So we were going to do everything we could do to edit it.
To keep it in there.
Yes.
Well, talk about, being producers on a project like this. How did the two of you divide and conquer?
Well, I focused on the logistics. We both kind of helped bring in people that we wanted to have a part of it. And then being that it was close to my family property, I was able to enlist the community and start to reach out to the community and get my family involved. My mom and like the church community that's down there got heavily involved with us as well. So, and then whenever we started to put everything together, I handled all the basic, getting forms put together, filing all the paperwork necessary, getting permits and all of that stuff. And then I when I wasn't working, I think I was the only person, or Jenn was the only person that worked every day. I had a couple of days off as actors, as number two. Mm-hmm. And so when I wasn't there, I was in the office and I was helping coordinate and do all of those things. And then Jenn did an excellent job of managing and keeping up with the creative and working with the creative team. So I'm more conscientious and orderly, and she's more creative and spread out. So that was how we utilized our different personality traits to make the film.
And what's it like having your family involved?
It was amazing. One, it's very, 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 very inexpensive to use your family. But
save a few dimes.
Yeah, we
shot on their church camp called Camp Nudon, and their freezer broke throughout the shoot. And his mom ran the catering, and she came under budget by
50%. Yeah,
50% under budget. So we took that rest of that money and we allocated it to be able to pour back into their church ministry. And we got them a refrigerator or a freezer,
a new refrigerator,
something like that. But like
a restaurant, the big ones,
big one. And it was so awesome to see how much they poured in. And his brother wrangled all the animals, and
because all the animals you see are ours except for the pigs. So
like when we met, they had pigs in their farm, and so the scenes you see in the movie are loosely.
We were eating the pigs that we had previously, so we were waiting for the cycle of new ones to come into the.
That sounds so brutal.
Well, we just raise them for
but
food.
I love bacon. But it's so brutal. We were eating our pigs, but it's true.
Yeah, it's the South.
And like Corbin Bernsen is like, I could really use a good steak. And so Alan, his brother, brought in this delicious flank of meat that came from their property.
Yeah, my brother does they do grass-fed beef, so it was really delicious. Yeah.
But like
it sounds delicious.
Yeah.
Like I come up with the big ideas, like let's put Santa hats on pigs. Let's have a horse in a pink onesie in the middle of the Flatiron District, because that's where I started my career as an actor. And then Jim goes, okay, let's figure out what permits we need. The horse needs rabies shots. We need permits from Flatiron District, Flatiron Building. We need to get cops. Oh, by the way, we're now shooting and the cops come in and they say our 40 plus extras that are kids now need children permits, even though they're volunteers. So our associate producer, Rich Swingle, jumps on one of those street bikes.
City bike, yeah.
And got the permit. So Jim handles that world, and then I come up with the creative and I staff our team. Like George Escobar came in and he produced and directed Alone Yet Not Alone, which was nominated for an Oscar. He came in and he said, okay, you have this much money. This is how we do it. And he was able to do all that. And then Bob Sines, he came in and did a final rewrite, and he writes for Hallmark for your main Christmas movies. And he said, okay, here's your budget. We need to remove this character, this character, this character, switch around our ending, which that's how Patricia got cut. And we have the story that we have now, which could not have been done without our 5 writers who were incredible in the journey.
And were you both involved in casting everybody who ended up on film?
Well, yeah, the people were handpicked basically beforehand. There was only a couple of roles that we had to cast, which was the role Roxzane played, Livi and Benji.
Little
Everybody
Belle,
else,
Josh.
And then we had maybe a couple one-liner auditions for people.
And then
even
our
then
agent.
And then our agent. That's correct. Robert Amaya's character, Vinny.
We had we didn't shoot one character because after we went into production and finished, we wanted to be able to go out to an A-lister. And so unfortunately, COVID was right in the hot flash of it last year. So everyone we went out to, either they passed because of schedule or passed because of COVID. And we were days away before we needed to lock production because we needed to, export the file. And
so we auditioned for the role then we got
Robert,
several tapes in, and Robert did a great job and got the role.
And he's a very well-known actor in the faith-based market, and he's one of the most hilarious actors known. So when you watch the movie, he brings the funny, because at this time we knew we weren't going to sell to rom-com broadcast. We could bring up the funny and the broad comedy again. So, oh my gosh, she's charmalicious and hilarious and fantastic and awesome.
What do you hope folks who watch the film take away? What's the message you would love each person?
I would love for every person to understand that beauty comes from within. We live in a world where it tells us it's what we look like. But if we could realize that we could hold those lies that we all hear in our mind, that I'm not good enough, I'm not pretty enough, I'm not lovable. And if we hold those lies captive and we transform our mind to say, no, my body and soul are marvelously made. I am a magnificent masterpiece because I was divinely created. And that's what is all inscribed onto this bracelet. That is the main premise of the movie, that my character loses when she's a little girl at the Christmas farm and then finds it to realize what true beauty really is.
Yeah, so that message is great. And then I think for the men, because it is it's a female-driven story. But for the men, I think it's important that we understand that there is a beauty within not only women, but in everybody. There's an intrinsic worth that we all have, but it's also something that we're not responsible for giving to somebody. And like, they shouldn't be looking to somebody else to gain that value or to receive that value. So it's, in the relational journey of a man and a woman, that we need to encourage the value that each one of us has in each other, not be the source of that value. So men should just encourage women, encourage men, love that. And everybody encourage everybody, so that you can have a strong foundational relationship, not on yourself, but on the value that's in the other person.
Love that. Not be the source.
Correct. And I know everyone's different in their walk. For me, I look to God for my source, and I say, you created me. And that's where my fulfillment comes from. When I look to Jim to fill me, there's always expectations not met. And then there's pain and all that stuff. But we have such great communication that we learn how to grow what, honey?
It's great communication. I was playing a joke. Never mind. Sorry. Badly timed.
I thought you did. Arlene, who's watching, said, love that they used their families and community for the project. It's on my list to watch this weekend.
Oh, great. Awesome.
Arlene,
Thank you, Arlene.
Message us. Let us know what you think. And if you watch it on Amazon, if you like it, and only if you like it, give it a rating and a review, because then it helps other people see it up on their algorithm.
Other people that are just like you.
Well, I have the website up. So talk about the bracelet and the necklace you created, right? You're selling both on QVC with my pal, As the World Turns, Terry Khan.
Yeah, Terry Khan. Yep.
Oh,
yeah.
Gosh, so beautiful. Terry is the one who brought us into QVC. She made the introduction. And recently, we just launched this beautiful heart locket in sterling silver. It comes in silver and gold onto QVC. And one of the things that I love about it, and when you let go of the locket, it doesn't fly underneath your bed. You know, when you drop your chain, it doesn't fly.
That's amazing, because so many people lose their neck charms or their whatever's on their necklace. Yeah.
All the time. And then it goes down your like little heater gutter. The back has this drop down chain that has this little heart pendant on the back. So it gives it a little decoration across your nape. And then the locket has this beautiful clasp to it. On the front of it, it says, "Open my heart." And then when you open the heart, in the inside, it reveals that beauty is on the inside. It's kind of hard to get.
So it's hard to tell. Yeah, but it's engraved with the beauty is on the inside of the heart.
And can they find it by going to the website, right? I have the website up.
They can find it by going to qvc.com right now.
That's where we would love for people to get it right now on QVC.
And it's discounted there as well.
Yeah, it's cheaper on QVC. And so that's a great thing. On our website, it's a premium price, which is awesome for the Ministry of the Farmer and Belle, our company. But we want to help Terry with her being the host right now, that we are on QVC.com. Our bracelet, and how to find on QVC, you would just type in The Farmer and the Belle. And you'll see it, and you'll see our DVD and the book that accompanies the necklace.
Yeah, and the bracelet was on QVC earlier this year and last year, but it is no longer there. But this one is available on the website.
And it's an adjustable chain. It's inspired by a Tiffany style chain with an Alex and Onion style charm. It has 10 inspirational affirmations based on psychological and biblical values. It's adjustable, so however your wrist fits, it falls, and then the heart falls into the palm of your hand to remind you to grasp on to the love, that you have to have that open heart to know where your love truly comes from.
Jenn, did you say you had one of these when you were a little girl?
I never had an exact bracelet, but I always used jewelry when I had revelation. And so in the movie, we see Grandma pass on jewelry, and my Grammy passed on jewelry to me, but I never had the jewelry like this. Mm-hmm. The concept is being transformed by the renewing of your mind that has been anciently developed. And it's the passing on of that wisdom is why we've created it as an antique piece.
Yeah, and that's what we've seen is that a lot of grandmother age, wonderful seasoned women are buying the bracelet, and they're saying, "I want to get it for my daughter, for my granddaughter." And we've sold a lot of them in the adult size. There's also a kid size that's a little bit shorter, so that younger people can have it. And like she showed, it does have that adjustability, which makes it kind of one size fits all. But yeah, it's been really positive to get the emails and phone calls of people saying, "I can't wait to give this to my daughter," or a husband saying, "I'm surprising my wife with this. Is it going to get here by Christmas?" So since we manage the shop, we field all of the calls and USPS mess ups and FedEx. Where are you? So that's been a part of our journey as being.
Where did the idea for this extension of the film come from? Because it is, right? It's an extension of, the beauty you made in the film.
Yeah, it was an idea that came from a collection of our team of conversation that, first off, we needed in the storyline a MacGuffin, something that the character is looking for, but goes on a different exploration. So she's looking for her bracelet, but in return, she discovers who she truly is.
And it helps save Santaland. So
save Santaland! And so then the concept, and then the next thing was, well, let it be a bracelet. And then in the morning, I have a routine where I have my latte and I have my Bible and I have a journal, and I read the Bible and then I journal. And in that time, I get ideas, and I saw this image of this bracelet, and then I took the inscriptions and I talked with psychologists of what helped me find freedom, and then we identified these inscriptions, and then we did test studies, and I did test studies with women and test studies with teen girls, and I walked alongside them to say, what is actually helping you? And that's what we identified to put onto the bracelet. We then took that and then we retooled that into the script as, you know, these different moments. Like, one of the coolest things, just blows my mind, is that when we use the gifts that we've been given to serve others, but it's with joy. If we're serving others with joy, that joy is the most radiant, most attractive quality. And it's more attractive than having the perfect physical appearance. It's the joy that radiates from within. And so that's one of the most predominant ones that we focus on in the movie, is Belle serving others with joy, and how that helps her. Well, you have to watch the movie, how Santaland gets saved. But there are pigs with Santa hats on them.
I love that.
That might be
what's been the best part of the journey?
I would say that it's been the phone calls and actually being able to communicate with people who are impacted by the movie. And obviously Jenn has probably had a greater experience with that because she's been able to connect with so many women and women that are concerned about their daughters, or men that are concerned about their daughters. But that has been extremely satisfying. I know it has been for her. And it has been for me as well, but you know, seeing that it is driven by it is the women driven story, that it has that great impact, and I'm very thankful to be able to support in that.
One of the grandmas, she was saying that she was watching it with her granddaughter, and her granddaughter at the end of the movie said, "Grammy, I never knew I was beautiful." And her grandma's like, "I need to get her this bracelet so she can know that she's beautiful and she's valued." And another woman, she goes, "I won all these beauty pageants, but when people look at me, all they see is they see my physical beauty. They never see my heart. And it makes me feel worthless. And this helps me realize that my worth comes from within, from how I'm created." And so we've been seeing this message, the psychology, just impact. And it's the creative team. We couldn't do it without the 400 plus people who worked on creating the Farmer and The Belle. So many people.
Yeah, there's a lot of volunteers down in
and it's not just Georgia. The movie. We have a children's storybook written by Veggie Tales, Larry the Cucumber, and we have a devotional book that accompanies the bracelet. And we talked about the bracelet, the necklace. We've got so much like integral involvement that has gone on from concept to completion to marketing. And it's over 400 people, and we tried to credit everyone in the end credits. So you have to use your magnifying glass at points. But everybody's valuable.
I love that. So you guys have worked on about 15 projects together, right?
Yeah, that's right.
What's the best part of being able to work together?
We get to kiss on screen.
Good answer.
Yeah.
Good answer.
Woo-woo! That's the node, the passion, the fire.
That's why.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. This has been our central focus.
That's why we have this guy.
Yeah, that's right.
That's why we have this guy.
Yeah, look at that. Look at that onesie. That's the one she actually wore in the movie.
Yeah, I love that. Love that.
It's been great. Like, we worked a lot together when we were dating, actually, as well. And like when we got married, this has pretty much been the only project that we've been working on together. We did all those other projects before, like a couple of small commercials here and there, and like
I would get cast in a movie,
and we would recommend each other.
I was like on Saving Faith that Lionsgate distributed, and I was like, "Do you need a guy? I know one." And then they looked at Jim's work and they auditioned him, and they're like, "He's cast." And it worked vice versa. It was awesome. Yeah. And we took, oh my gosh, Alan, we took a break from each other because I needed to make sure my heart was fully healed. And we both got cast independently in a TV pilot. And that was...
No, I recommended you.
Yeah, but they didn't hire me because of you. We had several months.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? You recommended me.
I don't know.
They hired me because of you.
Yeah, I told them.
You told them to hire me?
Not to hire you, but to audition you.
He's a smart guy.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Jen, he's a smart guy.
That's hilarious.
Very good. Well,
she doesn't have the memory. I'm an elephant. She's like a goldfish.
I love it. Well, I just showed your beautiful baby boy, James.
Yep.
Talk about how parenthood changed your lives. Tell us.
Well, it changed everything, really, but it couldn't be better. Like, it's so awesome. We're both home, so we both get to spend a lot of time with him, and he's amazing. He's so smart, 15 months old. Of course, he's really cute, and we get to work together to try and solve it. The mystery of childbearing. You go from the mystery of marriage to the mystery of rearing a child. So.
And it's fun. Like, we're teaching him different words. Jim's working with him to teach him Spanish, and we live in a very Hispanic community, so he's around a lot of people who are Spanish speaking, and it's amazing. But he knows lion. We go, what sound does a lion make? Arr! And now I've been like, Santa goes, oh, Merry Christmas. And today we saw Santa. We took him to see Santa. And he goes, oh.
Did he sit on Santa's lap today?
He did. Got some pictures, and it was awesome.
He did so good. And he likes to shake people's hands. My friend Erilyn, who was one of the psychologists from our film, she visited, and she said, she told him, nice to meet you. Now this little schnookums will work the room. He'll walk up and he'll stick his hand out to everybody. And then if someone doesn't shake his hand, he'll go, nang.
He'll shake his own hand.
I love that. COVID hit, so you had so much really quality time with him.
Mm-hmm.
Must have been, it's difficult for some people, but I think it's also an added blessing of getting that extra time, don't you?
Yeah, it is. We actually moved during COVID, and we actually, it's been 2 years now since all this started. But yeah, she was pretty much pregnant the entire time through the pandemic. And then he was born in September of 2020.
Now who's the elephant?
Yeah. But
it's been really
but we're both people that would be staying at home a lot anyway, unless I've got a job or if she gets a job. But we've been so focused on the film that's what we've been doing. I've been auditioning and doing other work. Like I've been to Georgia a couple of times to work on some projects, and
he's on a Disney movie.
I just finished one. Yeah, and but I didn't ever go away for long periods of time, except for maybe once or twice. I went away for like a week. But if we go to Georgia, she can come because my parents are there, and so we can bring him with us. So it's not like we have to be too far away from each other. So it's been really great.
And then as a producer, because I've been producing mostly these past couple of years, and I think it's been a challenge learning how to balance motherhood and that creative mind. So when baby goes to nap, that's when I get the chance to execute these ideas. Like our movie's been in theaters, and I had this idea of like, oh my goodness, I want to reach out to groups that are girls that are struggling with eating disorders, teens that are struggling with addiction, girls that are pregnant and are in shelters. And so when he went down for a nap, I wasn't able to call them, and we were able to gift them with tickets. And some groups drove as far as 2 hours out to come to the theater to be able to bring their group. And and it's like those are the moments that I love doing, but it is a challenge because when baby's awake, I don't have that mental ability and aptitude. So it feels like I've got about 2 hours in a day to execute the development of all the different creative outlet, because I do handle creative and Jim handles all the logistics.
Little James is making it challenging, and so you have to navigate those 2 hours and get it done in those 2 hours. So take me back. Who or what influenced you both on becoming actors?
Gosh, I don't remember any specific thing. I just know that I always wanted to do it. Because when I was 5,
was there someone
it's kind of like a lot of kids say they want to be an astronaut, a fireman, or a policeman, but I said I wanted to be an actor, and so my mom put me in little plays, and that's how I started. So I never really had like, oh, I see that person on screen, I want to be like them. This was 1984. Like, so we'd have 3 channels. We didn't have, the cable didn't exist. I wasn't going to movies like that kind of thing. So I just enjoyed playing, and so that's how I started. I did my first show as one of the pipers in Michael and the Pied Piper, the little kids that run around. And that was the first thing I did back in like 85 or 86.
When were you Beast?
I played Beauty and the Beast was 2002. When I was
and you've done it ever since?
Yeah, I did it all through elementary school, high school. I studied it in college. And then I didn't pursue it professionally after college until 2011. That was when I started doing film and television.
Cool. Dolly Parton inspired me.
That's a good choice right there.
She was in a movie called Straight Talk, and
I worked on that movie.
What?
I did. It was a Disney movie.
Alan, talk to me. What did you do on Straight Talk?
I was in public relations for Disney for many years.
You've got to be kidding me.
Well, awesome.
I think I picked up Miss Dolly at Teterboro Airport in New Jersey, coming in with buttloads of luggage and the way only Dolly Parton would travel.
Yeah, that's awesome.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. I was in my hometown theater, a small 1-screen historical theater called the Roxy, 15 years old. Straight Talk came up, and at the end of the movie I found myself overwhelmed with tears, and I realized I want to do that for other people. I want to make them laugh. I want to make them cry. I want to inspire their souls with movies as an actor. And that's what began my journey. And
wow.
To this date, I haven't seen Straight Talk. I have to watch it again. But there was something in the bones of that really impacted my 15-year-old heart.
Yeah, nobody can really tell. There's just certain things that we connect to as children or adults on screen that stays with you for a long time. And she does it for a lot of she is an inspiration to so many.
Oh yeah, she's one of the most popular American figures of all time.
We were recording her to have one of her songs in the movie for several months, and then we I don't know how to.
So it wasn't a good fit. It didn't fit the story. It would have been
the notes that we got back were like this song.
It would have just been
just thrown in.
It wasn't the right. It wasn't the right thing. It was a duet,
right?
A collaboration she did with For King and Country, and it just didn't. It didn't quite fit what we needed it to do. So.
I was trying to Cinderella's sister trying to shove the foot in the glass slipper.
Right.
Right. That makes perfect sense. Mm-hmm. Are there actors you both admire today?
Oh yeah, I love Meryl Streep.
Okay.
Love the work and the transformative quality that she is able to embody with her voice through accents and through physicality. Her emotional range has always been an inspiration. And I think that's one of the things that I've strived to study, to learn. But the ability for her to immerse herself into a dialect is an extraordinary feat that I just I would love to be able to learn and grow as an artist in that area.
Gosh, I need to be more prepared for this question because I get it asked all the time, and I don't like I said, even when I was a kid, I wasn't really looking up to different actors that I could remember, but there's a lot of character actors that I like that are always doing something different. Gary Oldman, Ben Foster's fantastic. I really like some of those gritty gritty actors. And I can't think of them whenever somebody puts me on the spot, but I have to like see a movie and like, oh yes, that's fantastic. And I'm watching a show now with Rufus Jewell, and I think he's fantastic. And Cillian Murphy from I don't know, the Peaky Blinders. Gosh, it's fantastic.
Oh
Everybody
my God,
that show is so there's like, I could just list a bunch of people off. But
Peaky Blinders, I'm with you there, Jim.
Yeah.
That is a phenomenal show.
You know what else is extremely amazing? Corbin Bernsen. I've worked on several movies with him, and his character depiction is so smart and so clever. He's really a talented actor who likes to morph and do unique and different things. We were in a movie called First Lady, and he came up and he created his own accent and this own behavior as this king from this fantasy world that doesn't exist. And it's just like, if you know Corbin, you're like, oh, but if you don't know him and you're watching the movie, you just get pulled in. And it's just inspiring to watch him create.
Well, his mother was quite talented.
Fantastic soap opera actor, yeah.
Jeannie Cooper, fantastic. Yeah. And John Schneider, I loved. I mean, great.
When we worked on
Smallville, Dukes of Hazzard, so many things.
He and I were the leads of a movie called Dune Bee that came out several years ago. And I came right out of acting school where we were told that every take has to be the same: physical, emotional, vocal. So I was, wanted to do it right. It was my first lead role in a big movie. And John goes, Jenn, do you know every take it's a different take? It's a completely different take on what we just did. And that gave me freedom of just improvisational, just effortlessness. And John and I had so much fun. And on that movie, I wouldn't say every take, but a lot of takes, we were trying to make the other person laugh by doing the most surprise, shock in the face situation. Like this one scene, we rehearsed it, and he was off in a distance, and I'm here, and I walk in on him in his room, in this barn styled room that he is this lone stranger that is in there. Well, on the day when we're shooting that scene, I walk in and I'm coming in with my back looking at this place. John is literally a foot from me and in an only in a towel, nothing else. And I'm like, oh my God. And the cameras are on me and I was blushing. And of course that's the take they use for the movie. And I'm like, what the heck are you doing? And he thought that would be a hilarious way to shock me, which it was.
He did. Tell me the name of that one again.
Dune Bee. It's hard to remember. Doon as in Nancy BY. Dune Bee. It's on Amazon on Prime.
Awesome. And Jim, what was your first on camera?
Well, technically, my first on camera role was in a movie that a person that worked with my father, who was in the military, on this military compound on Fort Belvoir, Virginia, as a defense installation, made a feature film with $5,000 over 2.5 years, and I had a small part in that. But my first paying role that I ever did was a film called Abraham Lincoln versus Zombies, which is by the Asylum. And I played Captain.
I've never heard of that, but that's
it came out at the same time as Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter back in 2012. And they make movies that people get confused as to what they're watching. They're really good. They do Transmorphers and some other stuff that like is almost like the real thing. But they're very popular because they always get like some like 90s or 80s actor to be the lead. Like Sharknado is the movies that they make Sharknado.
Gotcha.
So all their other movies are kind of in that same vein.
Clicks for me. Clicks.
Right. Yeah, but that was my first paid acting gig. Yeah.
That's awesome. Jenn, in reading your bio, you are an actress known in the faith-based market. Can you talk about the role faith plays in your life and work?
Yeah, it's I'm sorry, I get emotional. I don't know where that came from. It's integral. It's such an important part of my life that I don't know how to breathe without my relationship with God.
Has it always been that way?
I grew up Catholic and not during that time. I would go to retreats, and I was fascinated by the leadership of the retreats. But it wasn't until I had a personal encounter with what Christianity means to me, and that transformed my life. And it's like, if I'm not in that place of trying to learn how to be more like Jesus, there's something inside of me that feels empty. And I am a hot mess all the time. I don't know, all the time, sometimes. And so,
who isn't?
so I find myself constantly, learning how to forgive myself and grow and heal. And it's my foundation. It's my foundation.
Thank you for sharing. I was curious, when it's in a bio like that, I want somebody to explain, the relationship. And I think it's important for people to hear that.
Thank you. Thanks for asking.
You're welcome. Sorry to make you cry.
I think it's just because it's this time of year. It's Christmas, and I've been teaching, but we both have been teaching our little baby about the nativity star and how the star is God's light shining down on him, kissing him. And I think it's just allowed me to understand. And there's a song called Drummer, the Drummer Boy song.
Yeah,
I never knew. Yeah, I never knew what that song meant. And we were watching it, and I was like, oh my gosh, the drummer boy was giving his gifts. He was giving his gifts to Jesus, and Jesus smiled at him as a baby, and that's what filled him with life. And I was like, oh my gosh, it's the gifts that we have that we're able to love one another with. And it's just a new experience right now in Christmas, trying to bring life to our little son.
Well, this is his second, right?
Technically, yeah.
Yeah, but this will be he'll get it a little.
Yeah, he'll have more real life enjoyment.
Yeah,
he's trying to figure out how to move his arm last year. Now he can dig in and trying to fumble through things and
rip that package open.
Right. So it'll be a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's so neat to see him rips the packages.
Yeah.
But he says,
what are you looking most forward to on Christmas Day with him?
Oh.
I think just seeing him experience it with the family. We'll all be together at Jen's parents' house, which will be a really, really cool time. I think that'll be the most pleasurable.
We're at my sister's house, and she has a 4-year-old. So tomorrow we're going to do Christmas with them. And so we're going to have them in their Christmas PJs. And Bella is this elf, apparently, that appears and watches up on you. So we're going to have Bella sneak some Christmas presents from Santa so they can open them up as cousins, and they have the best time together. So I'm really excited for tomorrow morning to see their reactions.
Love that. What's next for both of you?
We're working on the sequel for The Farmer and The Belle. It'll be The Farmer and The Belle 2 at the current moment. And
that's next for us, the franchise. Yeah. And as I mentioned, just finished a Disney project, and I won't come out till 2023. So I'll have probably something that comes out before.
What is the Disney project? Can you talk about
it? It's on IMDb, called Chang Can Dunk. It's a high school young adult film about a young Chinese kid who tries to tell everybody that he can dunk, and it's that story and how he navigates high school and navigates friendships and trying to dunk a basketball. So it's a sports movie for younger kids or teenage kids. Yeah.
And then I'm in a project called Love Different, and we're doing a sequel called Love Different 2. And you're really good at talking about
I had no idea about that one.
No,
I didn't know that you were doing it more, that there was more developed about it.
No, they're just waiting on figuring out production dates and stuff like that.
Oh, okay.
You had 2 movies out this year, right? The Harvey Keitel and Castle.
Yeah, Fall? I did. I was in Lansky, which was a really good movie. I enjoyed watching that. I'm not sure how many people watched it. It's weird being in movies now because they all go to streaming, and you don't know there wasn't a box office.
Right, you don't know who's watching. Yeah.
Right. But that was a lot of fun. I didn't get to meet Harvey Keitel, unfortunately. I worked a day, had 2 short scenes on it, and I like to joke because the angle they used was the worm's eye view, and so I like zoomed in on my frame while I was doing my scene with my scene partner, and zoomed in on my nostril to make people laugh. So that was a lot of fun. So yeah, that came out. I forgot that came out this year. I realized that. And then I shot an episode of Doom Patrol on HBO Max that came out in October. And what did I have another movie? Oh yeah, Castle Falls.
Castle Falls.
Gosh, yes, Castle Falls is out.
Busy year.
Yeah, just released this month. Yeah, and it's streaming, and it's one of those niche action movies where the action genre crowd is eating it up. I'm sure. Scott Adkins, Dolph Lundgren, and some other great people involved.
Oh, great acting in it. Really good acting in it.
Yeah.
Do you both have a dream role?
I would love to play a role that deals with some sort of sports, maybe like softball or skiing. And
are those your favorite?
Those are
sports?
my favorite sports.
Okay.
Now that I'm older, I don't know how good I am anymore at softball. So I might be aged out of that role, but like doing a real cool love comedy on a mountain as a skiing storyline.
It sounds like that's what we're doing for the Farmer and the Belle. The best roles to be in are the ones that you create for yourself. So we'll be doing an action movie because I would love to be in, like really love those fun action adventure movies that come out. Like Red Notice was so fantastic. Good. I enjoyed watching that because it's got that.
You need an action adventure romantic comedy for the two of you.
Yeah, there you go. And then we'll go to stunt school for a couple of weeks.
Heck yeah. We did like a school with knowing how to clear a room with guns.
Yeah, tactical clearing, like firearm safety and stuff. Yeah.
I would also love to do something like Cruella. I loved Cruella. It was so good. Is that the right? That's
Cruella, yeah.
With the oh my goodness, the work on that
extremely well made.
So good, and the creative design from story on how they came up with all the different gowns and
Disney knows how to do it, don't they?
Yeah.
So good.
Is James watching anything yet?
He's watching Cars. And he's watching real life animals and learning sounds. That's pretty much it. We don't have him in. He can only watch something for about 5 to 6 minutes, and then he's disinterested.
Off to the next thing.
Well,
it is such a pleasure.
Yeah,
such a pleasure to meet you both. Thank you so much for doing this.
We appreciate it.
You're so welcome. Everybody, check out The Farmer and the Belle, Saving Santaland. It is in select cities and streaming on most platforms, correct?
Yeah, you can check it on Prime, would be the most popular one, but it's also on
Tubi,
Apple TV, Tubi,
YouTube.
Yeah, a bunch of different places. YouTube, yeah. Voodoo,
Fandango,
Voodoo, Waka Chaka.
Isn't it? It's a whole different world, isn't it?
And yeah, that's essentially what it is nowadays. But yeah, anywhere that you watch movies except for Netflix and what's the other one? Hulu. Those are the only 2 places it's not.
And but DVD is slamming jamming because the behind the scenes on it, oh my gosh, they're so good.
And they can get that here.
Right? That's correct.
By
direct.
Yeah. Perfect. You guys have a lovely holiday with little baby James.
Pleasure to meet you much, everyone. Thank you for watching.
Well, Merry Christmas, everyone.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas, everybody.
All right, bye-bye.
Bye, guys. Thanks, everybody, for watching today. Don't forget to check out the movie, The Farmer and the Belle, Saving Santaland. And tune in tomorrow. Actor Steven Sorrentino will join me live here for the last show of 2021. Have a great night, everybody, and please stay safe.